Undead Labs has done it again, guys. We now have confirmation of the new Forever communities, and I honestly feel that this is one of the biggest updates we have seen in quite some time, even bigger than last year's Plague Territories. Honestly, guys, on a fundamental level, the game mechanics of this game are absolutely changing from so many things that are happening. It's completely wild. Guys, we have so much to go over in this video that even I'm overwhelmed. There's just so much. With that, let's jump into it. Guys, if you can thumbs up the video, I'd appreciate it. Follow my Twitch. I'm going to have future live streams this week and the weeks coming up ahead. We're going to be doing a lot of the testing you guys see here. Also, guys, follow my second State of Decay channel where I have more content for you guys, exclusive, awesome content. Also, guys, hit the notification bell for this channel because I have a huge in-depth video coming out on an upcoming feature for State of Decay that you guys don't want to miss. All right, let's start this off with, yes, Forever communities, guys. It's a full feature in a future update. A lot is tied to this Forever communities. Bear with me as I try to explain quite a bit that's happening here. First off, let's start with the biggest thing to come, and yes, that is the Forever communities will now be in full effect in many ways and be really tied fundamentally to your legacy survivor pool. Forever communities can now literally mean not necessarily sticking with just a set of survivors, but your survivors in full in your current games that you're playing, and your legacy pool will be active with this Forever communities. Let me explain this from the beginning because I'm sure I just confused the heck out of all of you. So in today's stream, they showcase before you even start a game, you now have access to a lot of information regarding your previous legacy characters. You can see their actual inventory and what's in there. If you've stored guns or anything, you can see quirks, you can see skills, I mean everything. And I think this is going to be very key because the other amazing new thing that was revealed today is we finally have 5 save slots going forward. So if you've been like me begging for more, I think this is huge. So you can now theoretically start a new community with your previous survivors that had lived and insert them in a whole new fresh experience. That is massive, guys. Let me thank Undead Labs for really opening up the slots because that is pretty big for myself. Now the fact that you can start a whole new community and not need to start with newbies but straight away with your veterans, I think is really awesome for a lot of the players out there who have been really asking for something like this. But it doesn't end there. There's actually a lot more depth to all this than you guys think. Let's say currently you're already established. You already have an awesome community that you enjoy playing with on a daily basis, and you really don't have any like inkling to want to start over or play something new. Well, guys, there is now a new radio commands that let you summon previous survivors from your same legacy pool. You can literally call in Joe from your first playthrough or anyone you want with just a simple radio call. I do want to mention that for clarification, on the screen it shows only 10 influence to a call. They said that's going to be changed at a later date and there's going to be a cooldown tied to it. Now it doesn't end with just that simple radio command, but apparently you can send anyone from your current community with a radio command back into the survivor pool and have them disappear and saved. So maybe you don't want to exile somebody or you feel really bad like I do, kicking someone out and letting them die in the apocalypse. Well, you don't need to exile them. You can now just stash them away or save them for another community. You can even think about this strategically. So let's say, for example, you have a survivor who has an amazing item from an old previous community. You recruit them straight to your game. You now have access to that awesome item that you've stashed up, and it could be very overpowered items. So you think about your current community. You can also drag your current overpowered items and bring them to a whole new fresh community you start from scratch. Simply call that survivor through a radio command and you'll have access to all that. So really now there's this whole new dynamic to this game via these radio calls. For me personally, I've actually lost a couple of survivors on a live stream some months ago who were my Plague Heart killers, and I got left with a bunch of scrubs who aren't really good at combat. Now I can actually call someone in who's pretty strong to make up for that from my previous playthroughs and enjoy them here. And I think really you're only limited by your imagination with these radio calls in this new mechanic. So I thought this was really cool that this is now going to be a thing going forward. But how does all this translate though to truly being forever communities? Really, that's the big question. That's the big part here. Well, you will now be able to play and do the leader mission. So the trader, the warlord, the sheriff, and the builder, you can complete those missions in full. But unlike before where the game just ends, you will now be prompted to a new screen that gives you the option to end the game if you want, like it has before, or keep your pool of players and just choose a new map with the same team, or in edited version. So if there's someone that you want to get rid of, you can do that, or maybe go with half the team into this new map. Not only that, but when you choose a new map, there is now a new UI that explains the maps a little further. It even tells you about the bases. But when you choose the map, guys, this is the big thing here. You can now choose which base you want to get into straight away. No longer do you have to start at the very starter base if you have a team of 12 people. As long as you have the influence and the people to get into a bigger base or a medium-sized base, you can do that straight away. So for example, maybe now I can switch over to Trumbull Valley and I can choose the highest base on their farmland compound. An example, if I have all the influence and people stash up and I don't have to start from scratch and having to destroy a bunch of plague hearts to get into a certain base. According to Undead Labs, you will also be keeping everything in your stash. You simply just move to the new map with the same community, or modify to your wishes if you want to get rid of people. So I mean, guys, there it is. For those who want to continue the journey, that option is now in full effect going forward. And guys, those were big changes right there, but the team wasn't done announcing more things. Because there is so much changing in regards to your communities, they now have a new filtering system for your supply locker. You will be able to sort things like recently added, value, damage, and I think they said caliber as well. Also, in a future update, you will be able to salvage a lot more things in that supply locker for parts, which I think is a great change. Hopefully, we will be able to salvage those annoying backpacks that really add up. That would be really nice. And guys, I'm really good with this quality of life change here, because sorting through a locker has definitely been a headache for sure in all my time playing this game, and I'm really happy with this. With that, guys, there's a couple of other little notes to add to everything I've already talked about. There's going to be an option to eliminate a survivor from a legacy pool. This will be permanent, so keep that in mind. Currently, there's a cap on how many can be in your pool. I think it's 50 off the top of my head. They also mentioned if you send a survivor to a legacy pool mid-game, and let's say they die leaving on their way out, which has actually happened to me in Lethal, they will still be saved to your community pool. So I thought that was good to know. Another note here is that the whole thing with all the radio calls, I'm gonna actually do, I think, another video where I showcase how you can really manipulate this to your advantage, but you can really use this to mix and match not just like the strength of your survivors, but even skills. So let's say you need a certain building or a certain leader type and you need a certain skill from a previous community, you can go ahead and really leverage this and mix and match from all sorts of communities and really add things. So almost think about this like a network of your own people, like this giant community, and that's the way I'm kind of looking at it. There's just different parts of it in different maybe areas or something, but they're all connected through these radio commands now going forward, and you can really mix and match mid-game. By the way, guys, to me this is all absolutely mind-blowing in a good way, because really the possibilities just really opened up. Last couple of notes to you guys. They said there's no release date for this, that there is some polish that needs to be done, and they are absolutely right about that, because they actually had a crash on the stream and I definitely saw some bugs. No word on update 30. They did mention though, don't forget about infestations, hordes, and sieges. Yes, and don't forget about that, guys, because I haven't made a video about it, but I will soon, and it is pretty insane. Last thing that came from today's update and stream, Jeffrey Card himself, the man that I've quoted a million times on my channel, is now the systems lead for State of Decay 3 and is no longer really working on State of Decay 2, but on 3. So there's still teams hard at work currently on State of Decay 2, but apparently there's going to be a lot of features that we don't know the half of, according to Undead Labs. That was, I think, a direct quote from them. So there's a lot coming our way that we have not yet uncovered on this channel, because a lot of what we talked about today I have talked about in previous videos. We just didn't know the specifics of how they were going to work. So for me, this was all very exciting, and that there's going to be a lot more updates on the way. And I want to say congratulations to Jeffrey on the promotion. His YouTube channel will be in a link below. They also mentioned that next month is going to be the 4-year anniversary for State of Decay 2, so expect something. I don't know what that something is, if it's going to be big or small or what it's going to be, but just pay attention to that. Okay, let me give you my overall thoughts very quickly. Mixed with the infestations and now the forever communities, guys, I think the thing that actually got me most excited about all of this was probably as simple as I am the 5 save slots. I think that that was really cool. That was really killing me because my experience has just been so limited. So to me, that was pretty big. But guys, really the thing that's really happening here is the game is going to change fundamentally big time, and I don't think you guys know the scope of it. When you put everything in a vacuum, this update will be as big, if not, in my opinion, much bigger than last year's update with Plague Territories, because the infestation system is really wild, and you guys will know what I mean when I showcase it. But mixed with the changes on the gameplay from that, and then the forever communities changing how we pretty much approach things from map to map, this game is going to be very different, extremely fresh, and I have to say I'm pretty stoked personally. You have to give it to Undead Labs for finding very unique ways to keep changing the game, but doing it with not the most resources, since most of the resources are on State of Decay 3. So kudos to the team that has really been working hard at this. Guys, let me know what you think about all that I talked about in this video. What feature the most are you guys excited for that's coming? How do you think this changes the way you're going to play? What are you guys still hoping Undead Labs reveals in a future update? Write those comments below, guys. As you know, Undead Labs watches his videos and reads the comments, so let your voice be heard in this video. With that, guys, thumbs up the video if you can. I'd appreciate it, and click this video right here to know what's coming up on update 30 and beyond.